Greetings to everyone out there. Sanamugela with All Things Leadership Podcast. This is our first guest today. Siphethe Ubaba Undabezitha Ubaba Zulu. So we're gonna have a fantastic time together. Sit down, enjoy, listen. If you're driving, it's gonna be worthwhile. Ndabezitha,
Sabonga.
how are you doing?
Hate bepunga.
Yes, Ndabezitha. How are you?
No, I'm good. No complaints.
Yes.
It's just good to kweshisa namhlanje. It's
Yes,
very hot outside.
Very hot. Baba, just for anyone who has never heard of you, maybe just tell us a little bit where you come from, a little bit of your background.
All right. Mina Bheki Zulu, ngazalelwe eShowe. Ngikhule nje nabazali bami bekhona. Ngiqhamuke emndenini wabafowethu abathathu. Ngeshwa ke one of them passed away some years ago. So I've got one little brother, well, not little brother anymore because anyone who's over 60 is not young anymore. But it's just the two of us, and I'm married. I've got 4 children, married to a beautiful wife, Pindi. Yeah. Anything more? I work for One Life Church, and I'm a full-time worker. I lead a church at France.
Sure.
Not overseas. There's France right here at Mzansi.
Let's as a thing, like a passport to get to France. So, Ndabezitha, when was the first time you were exposed to anything that is called leadership?
Yeah, I would say from the very early age of my life. I think from school, of course, at school there's leadership, there's a principal, there's deputy. So I was exposed to that. But I'm not sure if you're asking in terms of my leadership personally.
Both.
Both. Okay. When I was at school, as early as standard 1, which was grade 3 then, I became a leader of the class. They used to call us monitors. Okay. So I was a class monitor.
Today's prefects.
Yes, today's prefects. But sometimes as a prefect, or a monitor, you are looked at as a snitch, because you are writing down who is talking, who's not doing the homework, Yeah, but in a way, it's some kind of leadership. So I go as far back as then.
Wow. Were you conscious, Oguti, that's leadership?
I think I was conscious of leadership, but I didn't know specifically if I was doing what was right or not. I was just put there, whether it was by default or because they saw some qualities in me, I didn't know. But all I know was that I was voted into that role as a leader.
Yeah. So according to you, Ndabezitha, who is a leader?
For me, I think everyone is a leader. It's just that I'm not sure if we'll get to that, that there are different types of leadership. Mm-hmm. But to me, there are only 2 types of leadership. There's good leadership and bad leadership. Okay. That is according to me. So who's a leader? Anyone that can take initiative is a leader. Anybody that can have a following is a leader. Because they say the difficulty with leadership is that you don't know whether people are chasing you or are following you. But if you've got something to say to people, you will get a following. And that's why you would find some people that even talk rubbish, They will have a million leadership across, as long as it can make people follow you. And some people make people laugh, and others have content. And so people follow you for different reasons. But I would say that anyone and everyone can be a leader, either in small capacity or even in big capacity.
And when do you step into a leadership role? Maybe when you grew up.
I would say that when I stepped into leadership roles, I've had different leadership roles. Mm-hmm. Other leadership roles were by default, where someone was needed in a particular position and then they saw it fit that I should fill in that position. So in leadership, you find people who lead there because there's a crisis and there's no one to fill the gap. Because I remember one time when just I got saved, because I was the only male in the company of women, I was asked to preach. And
no pressure.
Oh my word. I don't even remember what I said. But that was, to me, the beginning of leadership in terms of ministry, because I was new in the Lord and I didn't know what I was doing. But someone saw the need for me to step up. And so I did. I must have preached probably for 20 minutes, but it felt like I'd spoken for an hour. I was sweating. The good thing was that someone got saved.
Yo,
so the Lord intervened there, I would say.
Yo.
Yeah.
And then what led to you opening a driving school?
Oh my word.
Because they've got a reputation of being dodgy.
Yeah, I saw the need in the market, even though there were other driving schools, but I thought that I could make a contribution and be the difference and make a difference and be the because you find that in a driving school there are people there, and I value their service. But if you can offer something that is trustworthy, that people can depend on, because in some other driving schools you wait for too long, wait for 5 minutes and 10 minutes, when you've got to go back to work in an hour's time.
Yeah.
So I was offering, I believe, something which was of value. I was honest, and even the husbands entrusted their wives with me.
Yo.
Because some small boys, would kind of like put their hand on. So it was a matter of trust.
Yeah.
And being dependable, and so I felt that I could offer something different.
Yo.
Yeah.
No, so before getting into driving school, what were you doing?
Well, I was working for One Life by then. I was in the full-time ministry, but I was not a pastor in the sense of being elder, even though I did the preaching. So I was a deacon, in terms of what the Bible describes. So I was a deacon, but a preaching one. I was involved in all leadership structures except the eldership team. So I was already in the leadership. And then there came a time when I actually shared with the leadership of the church, and I said, I would like to open some business. And even though it was a bit sore for them to let me go, but they released me because that's what I wanted to do. I just wanted to find out how it is like outside there in the world. So I started business. I ran it for about 3 years. With all the challenges.
The struggle is real.
The struggles of the business.
Yeah. And tell us, with all these years of experience in leadership, what are some of the challenges that you've encountered, and how did you overcome them?
When you lead, you have to look out for whether you are ahead of the people. Are you carrying the people? Are they seeing what you are seeing? Because in leadership, you can either be ahead of the people or behind the people.
How?
When you are behind is when people are ahead of you. When people have things that you haven't reached, maybe they challenge you on issues that you haven't done or things that you need to be doing. And I think the important thing is that, of course, you've got to be goal-oriented, and you must be able to bring across what you want to do well to people. But I think some of the challenges is that if you've got people that have bigger capacity than you, how do you handle them? Yeah. And the important thing is that you're actually not clever than anybody else. There are people that you would lead that would be much more clever than you, that would have better ideas than you. So it's good that when you lead, you communicate well, but you also get a feedback from people. I guess that would be one of the solutions, that you need to realize that you are not walking alone, that you are carrying people with you. And the challenges that you might have is that if people do not understand what you are saying or what you are doing, you need to communicate that clearly so that you can carry them. But most times, if you lead and you lead by example, and you are leading people with humility, people are very kind. Yeah, but they can also be very harsh if they feel that you are superior in terms of leading them, that you think that you're better. You're not carrying them.
Yeah.
And so I would say that, the biblical sense of leading is that you lead as a servant, that you show them the way.
Yeah.
Same way Jesus did, Jesus showed by example. And then in his example, he would then guide them. You follow me, you do as I do.
Yeah.
And then he would also leave them to do and watch them and then leave them once they've actually done well or have mastered what he was teaching them. Yeah. So I guess that when you do leadership, it's important that you surround yourself with people that are capable, so that whatever you cannot do, you can use them. Because as a leader, you're not a master of everything.
Sure. So you raise people, you entrust people with responsibility, and then what happens when the ones that you have entrusted with responsibility,
They let you down.
And they let you down and they disappoint you? And how have you dealt with that as the years have come?
Yeah, to navigate that, because people will always let you down, because people are people.
So we need to settle that.
I think we need to settle that.
People will always
let you down. And most times it's not deliberate. Like, for instance, you communicate something and people don't turn up. And then you ask, why didn't you come? I forgot. I actually didn't. There will always be excuses. And so you need to be able to even remind people, do you remember that there's a certain appointment that we have? And so you need to be kind of like, be forward. And make sure that, you see, once there are people that will not disappoint you.
Yes.
They are always there in time. When you ask them, you don't have to say it a second time. But there are people that you actually need to say it 10 times before they can actually pick it up. I think the important thing also is to be able to speak to people. Speak to them. If somebody has disappointed you, say your disappointment. And tell them the reason why you're doing that, because you are building them up. It's for their sake, because one day they will be leaders. And so that needs to be communicated well with the people.
So is that conclusion from you something that you recently experienced, or were there any other ways that you applied before that you thought could work and they turned out to not work as you wanted them to?
Yeah, well, there was a particular person that I saw the potential, and what I'd asked him, I said to him, I would love you to attend all the meetings. Okay? He was usually late in meetings, and sometimes he would not attend. And over the months, I've seen the improvement. In fact, now he is the one that is leading in terms, he comes first, and he actually takes an initiative. He wants to help me at all time. But it was from speaking. I actually shared with him my frustration that, you've got such potential, but you are late at meetings, and I would love you to be involved, And I can see a turnaround. But that comes from sharing with them and telling them with love and being compassionate with people. But other times you have to actually be hard on people. Tell them exactly as it is, because if you don't, some people need they need that kind of bit of hard love, yes, to wake them up. But if they are too sensitive, obviously you don't want to scare them away from leadership. People are different. People have got different personalities, and so it's not like one size fits all. So you've got to get to know the person. But I think the most important thing, it's friendship first, before function.
Okay.
Like we say at One Life, because if you are not a friend of that person, Anything you say can be misconstrued, it can be misunderstood. And so a person must know that you've got his heart and that you are after his success, that you want him to do well, you want them to succeed. Because leadership must not only be for me, it must not only be for other an organization or company. It has to be for a person, that you are building that person for the future.
Sure. And do you believe that leadership is for specific people or the select few?
I believe that everyone can be a leader. I believe that leadership is for everyone. But obviously, we've got different talents and gifts. Like some people are genius.
Yeah.
Some people can do better than others, So in terms of leadership, there are those that are willing, people that are ambitious. They always want to lead something, and then there are always that need a push. And leadership I think is both a gift and training, a skill. And you can be trained, but there's some things that some people just look like they're born leaders. But I think everyone can improve. Everyone can do better. But other people command leadership, either by their stature or maybe just because they're always forthcoming. You get some loud speaking people out there, But you can also have an empty team, people that make a noise.
They say a lot of nothing.
They say a lot of nothing, and they get a following because they speak the most. And people that have got solid information or solid stuff are quiet, and those that need to be probed. And so that's why when you follow someone, you need to know what is the value. Does it add value? Will it add value to me? Will I grow? It's important to follow people that you gain something. Are you growing spiritually? Are you growing mentally? What will that help you in a year? In 2 years' time, in 10 years' time? Does it build you up? If it doesn't build you up, it's not worth it.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Yo, that's amazing, Mama. And what would you say to someone who is on the verge of giving up and they're like, I've tried this leadership thing, it's hurting, then like I've got most hurts than wins, and they want to tap out. What do you say to those people?
Yeah, I would say that everyone has challenges in leadership. There are people that are struggling more in leadership, but they hold on. They take courage. I would say to those people, just look around. There's somebody that's struggling more than you. And what keeps them going? It's because courage. Courage and maybe build confidence in them that you can do it. Because some people crumble because they feel that everyone is against them. But if you can rally people, or you can rally a support around them and say, you can do it, and just keep on pushing and break a barrier. Because in leadership, sometimes you reach a certain barrier and you feel that you cannot move on anymore. You are incapable. And it could be because of some failures or because of their past experiences. I mean, the Bible is full of people, like for instance, Peter. Peter failed Jesus. He kind of like betrayed him. But Jesus had confidence in him. And the first thing he asked him, do you love me? And then, do you love me? Do you love me? And then Peter realized that, no, this man has an interest in me. And he became one of the best leaders. The guy who always messed up. And so God you need to realize that our dependence should not be in our abilities, because our abilities can fail us. Even the strongest person in terms of leadership, that can be his weakness.
Yeah.
Like take for instance Samson. Samson was the strongest man, but his strength became a weakness. And so we need to realize that even in our strength, we depend on the Lord.
So you would say accountability is important.
Oh yeah, big time.
Because
big time.
People always say, it's lonely at the top.
I think the first thing that needs to happen when you are a leader is that you don't lead alone, that you build a team around you, people that you'll be accountable to you, and don't just build a team that favors you. Use people that will criticize you constructively, that will tell you when it is wrong. They will tell you when you have not done the right thing. And so if you can build a team around you, people who will help you along the way, and build with strong people so that they can compensate your weaknesses. Because a leader doesn't mean that he does everything, but you use all the resources, you use all the capable people around you to make something better. Good people make you look good because you've surrounded yourself with people that can support you.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing, Baba. And what are some of the characteristics of that distinguish great leaders from any other leader?
Okay, I think one characteristic that distinguishes someone as a great leader is humility. You know, in the Bible, it talks about someone who was Moses. Moses led a big group of people, but he's known as the most humble person.
Yeah.
It's incredible. I mean, one of them is our favorite, Nelson Mandela. He's also regarded as the most humble person. And yet he spoke his mind. He was confident. And I guess even in the midst of adversity, when he was facing different issues, he never gave up. So I would say one of the strongest things that you can do is never give up. Keep on pressing and just keep on doing the right thing. Be honest. Don't bend for people. Rather stick to the truth. Be honest with yourselves and be honest with your capacity. When you've made a mistake, confess your mistake and move along, Yeah. Don't dwell in the past, because the past can be a hostage. It can hold you hostage. But remember that even the best people, best leaders, have made horrible mistakes in the past, but they were able to go past their mistakes, because what lies ahead is better than what is behind.
Yo,
I think that is the key.
Yo, that is so amazing.
Yes.
And do you read like any leadership books maybe that you could possibly recommend?
Oh man.
Or are you writing one?
I'm hoping to write one.
Yeah.
But for me, the biggest book on leadership, to be honest, is the Bible. Yeah. I have read some of the books on leadership by Miles Monroe, because he does write a lot on leadership. And yes, I've also read some of the leadership books, and I can't remember who the writers were. Yeah, but I do read books of leadership. And of course, I watch people that lead. I speak to people. I ask a lot of questions from people.
Yo.
For those that have succeeded and how they managed to overcome their failures. Because in leadership, you will face challenges and you will fail. The issue is not failing, it's how you get up after you failed.
Yo.
And become the best leader.
Sure. Baba, I have to say thank you so much. Thank you for pulling through. Really appreciate your humility. I love your heart. You are just a go-getter. I remember when you were fascinated by bees and you actually did a study of bees, just seeing their nature and stuff like that. And for you not giving up on young people, for you allowing even the young people to lead you in some seasons as well, and never tapping out. We look up to you. We really appreciate you. We love you. And for so many more years to come. And we're looking forward to work with you in WZ.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Baba. So, Lapo, please like, share, comment, subscribe. Tell us, what did you think of this episode? Episode 2 or 3 and hundreds and thousands, they are coming, because we believe every believer is a leader, and you are a believer and you are a leader. Thank you.